My girlfriend, asked to open our relationship, admitted she already had someone in mind. I packed her things, told her we were done, and walked her out of my apartment. My girlfriend, 36 female, asked that we open the relationship, and I just pointed her to the door. It was too much. I strongly believe that in a monogamous relationship, when someone asks to open it well, is because that person saw something else out there and is ready to try it instead of working in the relationship. Basically, is blindsiding her partner. So I have being with Fran 36 over the last 2 years and a half, almost two, as a couple. I thought that things were moving smoothly and was about to ask her to move in at the beginning of April, but lately she was acting rather distant, so I decided to wait a little and watch. I was cheated on the past, so I'm a little cautious with some signs. Out of nowhere, this last Friday, she asked me to open the relationship. She gave me all her big speech, and when she ended her presentation, I asked her if she has someone in mind, because it's not like we decided today, and basically going out with other persons tomorrow. Basically, I trick her into tell me what I already knew, and yes, she has someone in mind, which means to me that either she already did it or she has all set up. So I got up, walk around the apartment while she was trying to sell that this could be good for both us and our relationship. By the time she ended talking, I hand her one of my sport bags with all her stuff in it and tell her to left the spare key over the table on her way out, that we are done, and she knows why. Then I went to the couch and turned on the TV, just trying to look indifferent and save face. She was speechless for a while, about to cry, but before she couldn't say something, I tell her that I didn't want to talk about anything and she should leave. As soon as she left, I felt like crap, so unworthy, cried a little, and as right now I'm still mourning. My phone has going almost nuclear with all the calls and text I received from friends of both sides about my extreme reaction over her simple request. Don't know what she told them. So now I'm sitting wondering if I really went overboard, and at the same time fighting the urge to run back to her because deep inside, even knowing my feelings for her are still there, the trust is gone, and I'm not going to spend all my time watching her movements is not healthy. Maybe in time, really. Don't know. Before anyone pointed out, yes, I know my reaction is pure reflection of me, not what she did or was about to do or could do. So did I go overboard? P.S. Sorry about my English, keep that in mind if you don't understand something on my reaction. Update. First of all, thanks for all the replies and upvotes. It never crossed my mind that this post would have this much attention. I just wanted to put order in my ideas and vent a little, and with the hope a few people told me if I went overboard. But I didn't expected the amount of replies I got. So many thanks to all for that. Some people pointed that maybe I went overboard, that maybe she wasn't aware of my position on the subject. I replied to some, but there were too many comments to get back to all. So to clarify, maybe a year back approx, we had a couple of friends in a similar situation, and for like a month, that was the main theme of conversation on our group of friends. And every time I said that for me is a big no. And if one person in a relationship need to be with other persons, well, he should leave. About the friends trying to mend things up. Well, they weren't totally aware of the situation yesterday after I posted here, and with my ideas more defined, went to see a group of them and told them my point. All of them agree with me at different levels. Some of them wanted to let it go, others wanted to burn her at the stake. Of course, a few girls in the group pointed that I could do things in a better way, and also there was a few question about if could consider give her another chance. But for me, the main issue is not feelings. I know that I love her, but the trust is gone, and I don't want to find myself wondering all the time, what is she up to? After I left, my friends talked to other persons that weren't there, and basically the waters have calmed. If you are wondering, what is she doing, really don't know. I got a few texts from her, but haven't read them yet, and don't think I will do it soon. Anyway, I know is not much, but this is all I got for now. Note: when I first joined this part of Reddit, I didn't get what people get here by posting their relationship troubles, but I do get it now. Edit. I give it a lot of thought about it. Don't know if I would get a satisfactory answer. I don't find any logic because she knew me, and she should know. Part of me thinks that she wanted to break up to be with this guy, but didn't want it to be the crappy girl that left one guy to be with the other, and maybe was hopping for an aggressive overreaction from me so she could leave, pointing that I was the bad guy and avoid that her friends made judgment of her. Maybe in a few days I would be ready to have that talk, but not for now. Update 1. Hello to every stranger interested in how things ended. I wasn't much on the idea about posting any other update, but some people have been asking, so here it is. Finally, after listening to various friends and some Reddit users, I talked to her just to sort things out. Last Friday we meet at our regular place where we take coffee. At the distance, she looked great. So great that I just wanted to say freak it and drag her back to my place. It took a lot of restraining to not do it. When I got close to her, I noticed her sadness, and she still has her eyes irritated from crying. We sat, and before she could say a word, I asked her to tell me the entire story and that please don't let anything out of it that I need it, and then I would ask her a few things and also needed all the true. The story is pretty basic. Around 2 months before she asked for the open relationship on her girls' dancing night out, they met this exotic, good-looking guy. During the first month, he was the new flavor that all the singles friends on the group were trying out, which leads to girl-taking and sharing experiences. Eventually, this guy that was having his way with all the girls around him set his eyes on Fran and begun to flirt with her, taking her to dance floor having fun. Well, here's when she shoulder-stopped things because we had an agreement with dancing night that she would stay away from any guy because we guys are pigs and it's pretty rare that a guy just want to dance. Anyway, because of the excitement she went for, it enjoyed the attention of this guy and had a great time dancing. Looking at the timeline, this was around the time I noticed that Fran was distant. Moving forward a few weeks, her friends were sharing more intimate stories about this guy, and that got into her mind. She found herself fantasizing doing it with him. Also, he was trying to make a move on her too, but from what she told me, she didn't went for it because she was with me. Drinks and drunken friends are bad counselors, and once the idea of open the relationship came out, they were over 2 weeks chatting about how to convince me that because long time ago I had threesomes, and also swinged a little, I should be okay with the idea of open the relationship. But threesomes and swinging are things you do as a couple and out of pure excitement. At least for me, and was a long time ago, early 20s. All this lead to the day she asked to open the relationship. She told me that she and her friends never thought that I would end the relationship in the moment, that the worst scenario would be me getting angry and saying no. So there is no big deal in just asking. At this point, I interrupt her and tell her that she should know better. We were together over 2 years and always share my thought about everything with her. She agrees. At this point, I explained to her that I didn't break up with her for the question. I did it because there was already a guy, so for me that was a major trust issue. If this was some concern that came out natural, maybe we could have worked it out in the worst scenario, maybe we could found it an alternative. But the way things were was an alert for me. We went around of the topic for a while, and then I begun to question her. Basically, I asked if she was intimate with him. At some point, she said she wasn't. If she developed some feelings for him, no, she didn't. And lastly, if she has seen this guy again, and that was also a no. Even if that is not much, that was a small relief. But I explained to her that I can't go back to her, I need to close this for my own health. Also, I told her that we share a lot of friends, and I don't want to lose any of them because of this, and wouldn't be fair to ask them to choose, so we can behave like adults and keep things friendly. If my friends take one side, is because they want it, not because I ask them to. She said how sorry she is that if she could would undo everything, but she knew it can't be done. She was about to cry, I was also too. So it was a good moment to ask for the check and leave. I walked her to her car, opened the door for her just in habit of mine, and she started to cry. I couldn't help and hug her. We stood there about 10 minutes. When she calmed, she got into her car and drove. I was at shock, went home, grabbed my camping gear, and drove to the Mount and spent all the weekend there to clear my mind. Early this morning, I was driving back to the city, and at the moment my phone grabbed signal, it got flooded with messages from friends and family, all worried because basically I disappeared without telling anybody. I text back to everyone telling that I was okay, that went out camping, and at the moment was driving to work. Also, I got a text from her, something on the lines that she feels that we are not over yet, and that she thinks I need time to leave all this behind me, and she will wait in the hope of it. I haven't texted her back because I'm pretty sure I'm done, but experience has taught me to never say never. So for now, I'm going to take easy doing what I like and see where things take me. Well, that's it. Thanks all for your support and advice. P.S. Sorry about my English. Update 2. Hello, it's been a while. The truth is I didn't plan to continue updating the story, but a few days ago a friend sent me a TikTok link where the story was, but now in Spanish the translation was horrible, so I got some smiles at it and realized that I hadn't logged into Reddit in a while, so I decided to do it yesterday. I came across several messages, some asking what I was up to, others giving advice and encouragement, and of course those asking for an update. I decided that it would be easier to write here than to respond individually to each of you. Well, here it goes. After almost a month and a half revolving around the matter, I still didn't have things very clear, but fortunately, that's what best friends are for. I had a conversation with Clau and her husband Pete, my two best friends. Clau is like my little sister, and Pete is my best friend since college. After a while talking, Clau put on her serious face. That's strange. He's always smiling and told me, you have to let her go. You know very well that in your head, you will always be wondering what happened, and if you are really all that she wants, and regardless of whether that's the case, you'll never be sure. She also said something about how the only reason I haven't let her go is because I don't want to be alone. To be very honest, all of that is true. It was hard to hear it, especially because it came from the woman who I still see as that little girl I took by the hand to school, and for some reason, I couldn't stop wondering when she became more mature and wiser than me. Funny note, I jokingly asked her when she had matured more than me. She laughed and told me that I stopped maturing at 15 and that she had caught up with me when she turned 10. We have 5 years difference. Anyway, back to the story. I gave the situation a couple more thoughts that week and went to talk to Fran's ex-girlfriend. I just told her that clearly at this moment in life we wanted different things and that it was better for each of us to continue on our own way without resentments or bad feelings, and I said goodbye. Clearly she didn't like what I said, and she got sad, but well, she has to process her emotions, and I have to process mine. I was in an emotional low for a while, and I focused on work, but things have slowly improved. No, I'm not seeing anyone, and I have no intentions anytime soon. I think it's a good opportunity to behave like an immature 15-year-old in the body of a 43-year-old and play video games, go camping, and be the envy of every one of my friends whose wives or partners don't let them go out to play. And that's it. Thank you for your interest in my story, your advice, and good wishes. P.S. Like always, sorry about my English. Story 2. Our neighbor told me my wife was sleeping with her husband, but my wife swears she is innocent and the evidence I was given isn't very good. Not sure what to do. It's been a stressful few days, so I will try to make this as short as possible. Me and my wife have been together 9 years. We have 3 kids, 6 and 3 and 1. Our oldest has started socializing a lot, and my wife is very insistent on meeting the parents of our children's friends. Our oldest son's closest friend lives less than 5 minutes walk away, so we have a friendly relationship with them. They've come over to our house plenty. My wife splits the meat we buy from Costco with them, since it's too much for both of our families. The husband, Mark, and I have been biking together, and our sons play soccer together. The day after Valentine's Day, his wife, Amanda, messaged me on Facebook and asked if I could call her and that it was important. I called her right then, as my son was currently staying at her house after their soccer practice, and I thought something had happened to him. My wife was right by, and we were rushing to our car as I was putting her on speaker, and Amanda picked up crying and basically inconsolable. This just makes us freak out more, and my wife is driving while I ask what's going on. She starts saying that her husband is a liar, my wife is a fraud, and lots of other less than nice names. My wife takes the phone and tells her to stop with the tears and say what's going on, and basically be respectful and not call her out of her name. This sends Amanda into a rage, and she tells us that her husband and my wife have been having an affair. My wife almost rear-ends someone and has to pull over in a turning lane. I'm looking at her and asking what Amanda is talking about. My wife immediately tells her, "No, I'd never do that to my husband. You're insane. I'm coming over to get my son." We go over, and I can't even think. I'm pretty sure I was just on autopilot at this point. Amanda has never seemed very stable, but this was a lot for even her. I go and get our son ASAP. I tell my wife to stay with him while I talk to Amanda. Amanda shows me texts and call logs and photos, but none of these texts match my wife's typing style. Some of it is stuff I know she doesn't do. When typing, she hates pet names and nicknames, but this person used them every single message. Amanda claimed there were nude photos to show, and she did show me some photos, but only 3 are, surely, my wife. But these pics were obviously taken from a far distance and are all of my wife in our pool and jacuzzi at home. Mark isn't there, but the screenshots she has do have a phone number in them. I try calling the phone number and watch my wife from the window. Her phone isn't going off, and she just looks confused, not worried. No one answers the call, and it goes to voicemail that hasn't been set up. My wife tutors a group of about 15 kids, including Amy and Mark's child, in language skills, teaching them Spanish and Korean since my wife is fluent in both. This is something they pay her for, and Amanda immediately says she's going to tell everyone. I ask her to just hold off on it because there's no proof it's my wife. The nude selfies we saw can't be her because my wife had breast reduction surgery and has scars around her nip and a third nip under one of her breasts. Amanda agrees to keep it to herself for a while, but is 210% sure it's my wife. Mark still isn't picking up my calls, and this all happened almost a week ago now. When we got home and away from our kids, I told my wife everything I was told. She started laughing until she could tell I was serious, and then started pleading her case, saying she would never cheat on me, she's never cheated on anyone, etc. I asked her to explain why Mark has photos of her in our pool, and she seems genuinely confused and creeped out. There's been a few times where she said Mark gave her the creeps, and I'm not trying to say the guy is ugly or anything, but he's not exactly in my wife's league. I'm not either, which is why I feel comfortable saying this. Things have been awkward between us now and our kids can sense it, and when I get sad or obviously bothered, she tries to be patient but then gets frustrated and says it feels like I have no trust or faith in her. I know for sure Mark isn't faithful to his wife, which isn't my business, but I don't think it's fair for her to just expect me to trust her blindly with such a direct accusation. She's told me I'm punishing her for some loser's sick fantasy. I've checked our call logs, and from what I see, she has never called him a single time. Their messages on Facebook are innocent on her behalf. There's a weird random winky face from him, but she never replied to that message at all. I messaged Amanda again yesterday, asking if Mark had confirmed it was my wife, and Amanda says he is refusing to speak with her about it altogether and won't confirm or deny, and just tells her that she doesn't need to know more because it will only hurt her. I feel like that makes it obvious it isn't my wife, but Amanda just thinks I'm an idiot who is in love and blind because of it. I have always gotten the feeling that Amanda is jealous of my wife. Some of the comments she has made during this entire situation have only made me sure she's jealous. Comments on my wife's clothes, her body habits, you name it. I don't know if my wife's anger towards the entire situation is a sign of being truthful, but it's definitely not helping us be able to talk to each other. She was kind and trying to understand for maybe 2 days, but after that, it's been nothing but, "Are you freaking serious?" type of questions. I really have no clue where to go from here or what to think. Edit. From the angle they're at, it's from the backyard. We don't have a full fence, but a retaining wall that's only 3 to 4 feet high, but there's other houses around us on each side, and someone who lives behind us too. They're not nude photos by any means, but the bikinis she's wearing are the ones she usually only wears around me, not the family-friendly ones. But everything in the background is cropped out, and we go out and lounge in the pool after the kids go to bed pretty often. Update. It's embarrassing to say, but underlying insecurities, I guess. Like I said, my wife is out of my league, she's taller than me, makes more money, is well respected at work. We went to premarital counseling for it before getting married because my own insecurities has caused us issues in the past. When she brought up that this was because of my own self-esteem, I told her she was being cruel. She said she was just being honest because she loves me, not hurtful because she's hiding something. I do think anyone can be tempted and cheat, but I don't think my wife has it in her to hide a full-blown affair. The one and only thing in common with my wife and the messages was saying they wanted to get tubes tied because their last kid is 1 year old and they're done having any more, and our youngest is 1 year old. And my wife has made comments about not wanting to birth more, and if we wanted more, we should adopt. I was cheated on in my first marriage. We were way too young to be married in the first place, but it also comes from that. My ex said basically the same stuff my wife is saying, and I believed her just to find out it was true. The affair just wasn't physical yet. She went on to marry that person too, and I just feel like I'm back in time to that all over again. Edit 1. I know for a fact he's a cheater. The way he talks about his wife and comments he's made regarding other women, let me know. Like on the biking trail, we ended up behind a woman, and the amount of times he said something regarding her butt was way too often for a man who even likes his wife. And he kept saying stuff regarding how lucky I was that my wife stays in shape when his wife doesn't even work out. He once said Tinder is every married man's favorite app. I even went home and told my wife about that, and she told me she thought he was weird back then, and it was at least 2 or more months ago. I really only hung out with him because our kids call each other their best bros, and I wanted to at least feel him out to make sure it's okay. How often our sons hang out together. He's not someone I would hang out with by choice. I knew that before this whole thing even happened, so I wouldn't say we're friends, just friendly enough. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think it can't be true because my wife has no male friends because she can't tolerate being around people like that. Edit 2. I don't know, it's a little insecurity speaking, I guess. My wife is very attractive, gets attention easily, and there's other insecurities in our relationship. On my side, I guess. The selfies his wife showed me weren't in the text thread, they were in a folder she found. Same with the photos that definitely were my wife. And the entire time we've been together, she has never sent me a nude photo. So in the case she was cheating, I don't think this is something she would start doing. That's what stops me from believing her and taking her side, the fact Mark is avoiding me completely. He has also made comments about my wife before that makes it extremely obvious he is attracted to her, but they didn't worry me before because it's not my first time hearing them.